When it comes to training, upskilling and the future for our rangers and rangers in general, KPL Grassroots is a sister organisation to Olkola Aboriginal Corporation. So what we've done is we bought an RTO and then we had 8 fire modules written that are now being delivered by an Indigenous group to Indigenous people on their lands. So, and it encompasses things like your GSI mapping, anything to do with fire, but also there's 24 modules that are included in the RTO. So basically everything that's covered from your chemicals, anything that a ranger needs to upskill. So we did this for a number of reasons, because we wanted to have our rangers trained from level 1 right the way through to bombardier, and then to be able to do critical control out on country. But we also wanted everyone to have the same amount of training at a cost-effective amount. So, and when you've got Indigenous rangers training other Indigenous rangers, the language between them and the shared experience is something that they hold for for years to come. And so skills exchanges, moving them across to different areas, and for career pathways, if our rangers decided once they got to a certain level that they wanted to go off and work in another area or another industry, the training that we provide for them will give them that pathway forward. Training, I think, is most important for us, because the guys that we've got now that are leading our fire are basically the ones that are going to be training the next generation, and they've got to get that training right. So that's pretty much what we've done as far as developing career aspirations for our rangers and other groups that are working around us. And at any time a training need comes up that we think would be good for them to kind of bring them up to the next level, whether it's doing things with the universities, partnering with other organisations to gain skills and things like that. I think that they're the things that give longevity to rangers, because I think if you don't give them the power to choose what they want to do and the path that they want to take, then you lose your rangers. And I'm lucky enough to say that the Olkola Rangers have been around, and I've had the same rangers for over 4 or 5 years now, and we just keep adding to that team. So, and as I said before, we've got 98% Indigenous employment in Olkola, and they're all Olkola traditional owners. So I'm proud of that fact, and it is through the upskilling of not only the rangers but the administration staff as well. They're sent along and brought along and dragged along with me to every forum I go to, and they're learning all the time. So they're taking leads on different projects. They're taking their aspirations, everyone's aspirations are different depending what they want to do on country. Some of them is just fire. We started with one of our rangers and he hated fire, and now he's a bombardier. So in a short session of time, he became one person that loves fire now. So I think they bring to you what they want to do, and I think as long as you can facilitate that change and get that training done for them, and also give them a pathway forward so that they know that when it comes time for them to retire, when they're in their 70s or 80s, they can sit around and they'll still be mentors for the generations that come behind them. So purchasing an RTO was something that was on the wish list for about 5 years, but once we did it, we found out that it was a lot of work. But having fire modules that are written by Indigenous crews and then delivered, I think that is one of the best things that we can do for our people. So, and then just bringing along the business side of it and training them in the business side of it as well. So it's having them sit at the table when we negotiate our carbon deals. It's having them come along to, anything that's got to do with business and fire and rangers, having your rangers and your head rangers there so that they actually have an opinion and they can start to learn that succession planning from day one is most important, because we're not all around forever, and so you've got to have that strong legacy that comes behind you, like our elders gave us a strong legacy to follow, and we're passing that on through the generations. So I don't really have much more to say on that, except for the RTO was purchased, I think, last year. We wrote the 8 fire modules, and now they're being rolled out this year to train not only Indigenous rangers, but we're also training parks rangers on Indigenous lands. So, and that takes in a whole different element of protecting cultural sites on our joint managed parks. So, yeah. And I promise this is the last time I'm going to speak today. Thank you.
Before you go, does anyone have any questions for Debbie? Oh, here we go. Don't go, run away.